Yardy harmy hearties, and welcome to another Minecraft tutorial. This is the compact charcoal factory. As you can see, it is very small, but you may wonder what a charcoal factory is, and that is a pretty simple device that turns logs into charcoal. And the only thing you need to do is put logs in this. You can put however many you want. It will turn the logs into charcoal in the furnace and recycle the charcoal to use as fuel. And when it has enough, it will put the overflow, or what it is you are actually after, right on top here in the charcoal chest. Now we will do this tutorial in a few parts. The first is explaining what this machine does, and we have already done that. So we will go to the next part, which is explaining how we will do the tutorial, the size of the machine, and what you will need to build it. After that, we will do the layer by layer tutorial, and after that I will explain how it works and how you start using it, which is pretty simple that as well. And finally we'll do some modifications. We can make it a little bit more compact, which will sacrifice the sound levels, but some of you may want to do that. Now, as I just said, this is a layer by layer tutorial, and the green blocks represent what we placed on this level. The red is what we placed on the last layer, and the white represent where we will place our hoppers. Because I will do that during the tutorial, because the way hoppers is difficult to see where they are pointing. Now we will do this in the ground, because it is the most likely way you will place this machine. This is where your chest will end up. This is the log chest, and this is the charcoal chest. And it is a 3 deep, 4 wide, and actually 4 high design, but because we want our chests at this level, we will only dig down 3 blocks. The items you will need are 5 hoppers, 3 droppers, 3 comparators, 1 dust, 1 torch, 2 of chests or trap chest, it doesn't matter, but you must have 2 of one of the kind, and I will show you that in a second. A furnace, of course, at least 7 building blocks, and the optional thing here is the redstone lamp. Starting off with the first layer. Remember, this is where your log chest will be, and this is where your charcoal chest will be, and starting from that you will see where you will start building. In the middle right, this would be the middle, and on the right there you will place a dropper facing upward. Facing into that, a comparator, and on the other side of those you will place 2 blocks, one next to the comparator and one the closest to you. Then you will need to place 2 hoppers on this level. The first will go into the dropper, and the second will go into the hopper you just placed. So the flow of items will go from this hopper to this hopper, and then finally into the dropper. And here you get a picture from a bulb. Welcome to the second layer. You will start off by placing a furnace, furnace, above the hopper in the bottom right corner. You will place a dropper facing upward again above the last dropper, so you have a dropper and a dropper above that. A block above the comparator and next to the dropper, and on one of the blocks you will place a redstone torch, and next to that you will place a comparator facing to the left into a block. And the hopper of this level is going to be placed right here, facing into the side of the furnace, and you will get a shot of this as well. And now to finish everything off, we will do pretty much the same as we did the first layer. Put a dropper facing upward on the last dropper, a comparator once again facing into that, and 2 blocks on the same position as the first layer, this time above the torch and above the comparator. And don't miss this redstone dust, it is very important. We'll place 2 hoppers this level, and those will be placed facing downward into this hopper and this furnace. And the reason I said that you will need 2 of one chest is because the charcoal chest has to be a double chest above the charcoal input hopper and the charcoal output hopper, and the other chest can be a single chest or a double chest, it does not matter. If you want to place the redstone light, you just place it there. I will explain very soon how you read this lamp, or how it works, and when it is on and when it is not on. So before going on and showing you how to make it a bit more compact by replacing these or moving them to different places to make it a 4x4x2 design, I will show you how to start it up and how to read this light, and then of course how it works. Now to start it up, it is pretty simple. You need to place at least 1 log of any kind in the log chest, and then any kind of fuel that burns for long enough that this log is burnt to charcoal. A stick won't do, you can place 2 sticks if you want to, that would be enough. You can place a blaze rod or anything you like. You can actually place a stack of coal if you want to, but now that there is 1 charcoal in, you can start by placing how many logs you wish in the system, and it will fill up. And as you can see, once this charcoal is done, it will go up to the chest, come down and get back here. And finally, how does it work? Let's follow the items and see where we end up. So the logs is placed into this chest, get pulled by the hopper and placed in the top slot of the furnace, which is where we will burn the items. Now when we get charcoal from those logs, they get pulled down by this hopper, placed into this item elevator, which sends them into this large chest. Remember I said this has to be a large chest? That is because it is also connected to this hopper, which takes the charcoal out and puts them in the side, which is where this charcoal is. But we don't want this to get filled up with charcoal and this to get filled up, because that's 10 stacks of charcoal, which we don't want in our system at all times. 1 stack is plenty enough. So let's place a few 16 logs in here. Let that burn. As you can see, there is now 63 charcoal in here. When this gets done, there should be 64. And after that is done, let it think a little bit or work. it will end up in here. Now when this gets done, it won't end up in here. It will actually stay here because we are reading this hopper and it says I have an item, let's send out a little bit of power. And we power this block by powering this redstone dust. So we are powering this hopper by powering this block. And since this hopper is powered, it won't take items out. And when this charcoal gets used, since this is not powered, this hopper, it will place this piece of charcoal will be placed inside this slot. You can see that happening any second now. And that means this will turn off and it will get some more items. It will actually get 2 charcoal because of the timings of the hoppers. They managed to put in more charcoal than only 1. And that is how the system works. Now let's see how we do the modifications to make this a little bit more compact. We are now on the backside of the machine. The first thing you will do is remove these 2 blocks and comparators, and the block I placed here to make it so you won't see down on the backside. Place a block above this hopper and the comparator there, and then place this comparator here. Now, even though this seems like a very obvious thing to do now that we have done it, there's no reason to have them on the backside here when they fit perfectly into the design. I want you to take note on what happens when I put in items. It is clicking very much, and it will start clicking even more once this is done. As you can hear, it is very sounding. It's sounding all the time, and that is because every time an item gets pulled through this hopper, this comparator updates, which updates this dropper. Now, once all the item has gone through, it's not that bad. It will sound a little bit more than it usually would, because every time an item goes through here, this hopper will go off once, so it will click a little bit more than it usually does, and precisely when you put in all the items it will sound quite a lot. So it is completely up to you where you place these 2 comparators. I just thought I would give you both options so you could choose for yourself. And with that, this tutorial is over. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please tell a friend, and I will see you all the next time.